The French language is full of words that mislead English speakers due to their close resemblance in either pronunciation or spelling. In this video, I've got 10 of my favorites to share with you, so you're never tricked by them again. Du coup, si vous êtes prêts, allez, c'est parti. Salut tout le monde, moi c'est Alex, your native English speaking French language coach, here to help you speak French with confidence. Alors, the first deceptive verb actually looks like it means to deceive. It is décevoir. Well, it doesn't mean to deceive. The sentence "Il a déçu tout le monde en ne venant pas" may well make sense if read as he deceived everyone by not coming, but it actually means he disappointed everyone by not coming. On behalf of décevoir, sorry to have deceived you. To deceive is actually tromper. Ensuite, the verb rester looks a lot like it could mean to rest, doesn't it? But it doesn't mean anything of the sort. It means to remain or to stay. Je suis resté 5 minutes isn't talking about taking a 5-minute break to recuperate. No, it means I stayed for 5 minutes or I stayed 5 minutes. Another structure of rester is with the impersonal subject il. Il reste 5 œufs means there are 5 eggs left or remaining. Or maybe it's 5 eggs resting, chilling in the fridge. Ensuite, what is the difference between these two sentences? Elle vient de France and elle vient d'arriver en France. Elle vient de France and elle vient d'arriver en France. Both feature the verb venir and both are even followed by de. The venir de France means, as you might expect if you're familiar with venir, it means to come from France. However, the venir d'arriver means to have just arrived or to have recently arrived. In fact, venir de plus verb means to have just blah blah blah. An extremely common and cool expression to talk about the recent past. Now, what about passer? This verb has so many uses and several of them aren't false friends. Passe-moi le sel, s'il te plaît, for example, means pass me the salt, please. But on the other hand, mon fils doit passer son examen de maths ce matin doesn't mean my son must pass his maths exam this morning. It means my son must sit or take his maths exam this morning. To pass in the sense of succeeding is actually réussir, réussir. If I say to you, on attend sa cérémonie de mariage, what do you think we're saying? Again, a bit like with décevoir, the sentence we are attending his or her wedding ceremony would make total sense as a translation without more context or someone to correct us. However, of course, if it's on this list, then it doesn't mean that, right? Attendre doesn't mean to attend, but to wait for or to await. To attend is actually assister à quelque chose. And I have to include the à quelque chose because assister on its own with quelqu'un without the à means to assist. When you see this verb, you would be forgiven for imagining yourself hurling something very far into the distance or maybe even bringing your dinner back up. But in French, hurler is to yell and scream or wail if it's a person, and if you happen to be a dog or werewolf or a loup-garou, a werewolf, then it's to howl. Do note that the H is an H aspiré, so that means it doesn't cause a contraction when conjugated with je. It's je hurle and not jure. I did a video on the different French H's. It's up here or there or something. By the way, to throw something is lancer quelque chose, and to throw up is vomir. Numéro 7. If you want to quit your job, do you think you'd use the verb quitter? Yeah? No. That one is used for leaving a place, like the office. J'ai quitté le bureau à 18h pile. I left the office at 6 p.m. sharp. It's also used for breaking up with someone. Elle m'a quitté means she broke up with me. It's okay, ça va aller. But to quit your job, you'd actually say j'ai démissionné aujourd'hui. J'ai démissionné aujourd'hui. Je me sens tellement bien. J'ai démissionné. I feel so good for quitting my job. Numéro 8. We've talked about coming from being very similar to have just blah 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 in French. But the verb arriver à Arriver à can also be a false friend because je n'arrive pas à ouvrir la porte has nothing to do with arriving. When arriver is followed by à plus verb, it means to manage to do something despite a significant effort. For example, je n'arrive pas à ouvrir la porte. In English, it might more likely translate to I can't open the door, but with je n'arrive pas à, we're really implying that effort has been made without a successful outcome. So, arriver à. And staying on the theme of movement, after arriver, we have aller chercher quelque chose ou quelqu'un. Aller meaning to go and chercher meaning to look for. However, in everyday language, when they're combined, you may well hear je vais aller chercher les enfants à l'école plus tard. Something like that. This doesn't mean I'm going to look for the children at school later, although it could, I suppose. No, in common usage, it means to go and pick up or collect the children. You can also use it for an object. Aller chercher quelque chose ou quelqu'un. Have you ever wondered where the American English a resumé comes from? Sounds pretty French, right? Well, yes, because un résumé is a summary of something, like your professional experiences. Therefore, the verb résumer couldn't possibly mean to resume, as it may appear, right? Right. It means to summarize. And yes, I'm spelling it here with the S for the British English spelling, in case you're wondering. To resume is actually reprendre. Reprendre. Et si je résumais ce qu'on a appris aujourd'hui? Allez, on y va. Alors, décevoir doesn't mean to deceive, but to disappoint. Rester doesn't mean to rest, but to remain or stay. Venir de plus verb doesn't mean to come from, it means to have just plus a recent past event. Passer un examen doesn't mean to pass an exam, but to take or sit an exam. Attendre doesn't mean to attend, but to wait for or to await something. Hurler doesn't mean to hurl, but to yell or howl. Quitter doesn't mean to quit, but instead means to leave a place or to break up with someone. Arriver à plus verb doesn't mean to arrive, but to manage to do something. Aller chercher doesn't mean to go and look for, but to go and collect or go and pick up. And résumer doesn't mean to resume, but to summarize. Voilà, voilà. Now your challenge, French learner, is to write something with at least 2 of the above verbs, and that's le petit quiz du jour. And don't stop at 2 if you're in the flow. The more you write, the more you progress. Please do leave a like down below the video si la vidéo vous a plu. It really means a lot to me and it helps this video reach more French learners like yourself. Mais sinon, merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé. Ciao, ciao, French learner.